All right, let me boil it down. Simplify it here. I know most of you understand, but there's a lot of people that are like Miss South Carolina. The government says, take your shot, take your Gardasil shot. They go in, roll their sleeve up, drop dead, and love it. Yes, Gardasil's caused quite a few deaths. That's a whole separate vaccine. World Health Organization admits to releasing pandemic viruses into population via mock-up vaccines. Now, this is on the World Health Organization site. And just like the White House science czar calmly came out in the Wall Street Journal and said, yeah, we are adding stuff to jet fuel and chemtrailing the atmosphere to change the Earth's atmosphere, but details are classified. All these years we told you what they were doing. He comes out and admits the exact chemicals and compounds, aluminum dioxide, barium salts, that scientists that we've interviewed and that have done the research have shown was in it. And they just announce it. So if we make a big deal politically out of it, they just go, yeah, big deal, we're doing it. Yeah, big deal, we released the viruses. Now let's move on. Just kind of like, oh, yeah, Charles Manson's going to be over for dinner tonight. It's no big deal. Let's just move on here. Or kind of like, you know, your dad comes home from work and says, I killed 25 people. They're buried in the basement. I'm a serial killer. You know, and then no one acts like it's any big deal. It's just, oh, the government released it. Oh, they're having flu trials in Europe and it's killing a bunch of people with the vaccines. Oh, I just showed you the headlines. Oh, there's all these internal government reports about how it's in the past and currently linked to Guillain-Barré's disease and all these other neurological disorders. So let me put it in boiled down layman terms for Miss South Carolina, okay? 3 major vaccine makers that just so happened to get the government contracts the last 2 months put patents in for the exact strain and mutation of the H1N1 that we're currently seeing. And in their own filings and in the World Health Organization's own filings, simulant viruses, manufactured viruses that can still kill you but are, quote, weaker, they say have been released. And they say because they've already released it, it allows them to get quicker approval for the vaccine. So they had these viruses. They've been messing with them, engineering them all these years. And the rationale from the different, and here's the problem. I had Dr. Horowitz, Dr. Tenpenny, a whole bunch of doctors, medical doctors and others here. And I'm trying to remember, because I remember, you know, we're all learning together. Back during April when all this was going on, I'm going, excuse me? And they're going, yeah, look at this document. In this patent filing, this company says that they're preparing to release simulant viruses. And look at this UN document. And just now is this getting attention? See, I don't have all the answers. Because it's so big, hidden in plain view. It's so outrageous that I don't even know how to deal with this. So let's get Dr. Marcola on. Let's get Dr. Horowitz on next week. Let's get Tenpenny, Dr. Tenpenny on. And then let me go back into my files out there from April, because I remember talking to a physician at the state level who gave us that secret document that we were really at level 6, and everybody laughed at me, and then months later they go, oh, we were at level 6 back then. Well, yeah, the document had names of the state and federal doctors and their phone numbers, people, just like I broke the MIAC report and the DHS report saying veterans and gun owners were the #1 terrorist and Homeland Security was set up for us. I mean, I can't help it that we break so much here. We broke the secret FBI training video last week where they're saying all Americans are basically terrorists. That's a real FBI training video. I mean, but that's why they've got a leg up on us, is because this is so outrageous and just so in your face. It's like dad coming home when you're a kid, sitting out at the dinner table and going, oh, I got 3 dead bodies out in the trunk in the car. Come on out and help me get them out. You know, you're just not registering it. You know, it's so over the top. Dr. Marcola writes, on June 11th, the World Health Organization raised its swine flu pandemic from 5 to 6. It was really raised in April. Phase 6 is the highest level alert and reflects the speed with which the virus is spreading, not its severity. This classification also allows for vaccine quantity for fast-track procedure for licensing and approval. And the process is now ongoing for the swine flu vaccine. What you may not know, however, is that the WHO, together with health officials, regulatory authorities, and vaccine manufacturers, yeah, it's a revolving door at the WHO with the executives of the vaccine companies, have been working since 2007, long before this new threat of the swine flu emerged, to explore a broad range of issues surrounding the regulatory approval for pandemic vaccines. According to the WHO website, ways were sought to shorten time between the emergence of a pandemic virus and the availability of safe, effective vaccines. And that's what they say in these filings. Oh, we'll release the H1N1, but weaker, in case it ever really got out. This is a virus they made. So that if it ever does come out, we'll have a vaccine ready, and we can study how it mutates in people. This is kind of like, we're going to go ahead and set fire to your house just to do a test and see if it ever gets caught on fire, how to deal with it. And then even if you buy into this sick logic where the whole world's a test tube and these mad eugenics scientists are playing games with our lives, why isn't this a bigger issue? Why is it just hidden in plain view in the filings with the vaccine makers? It's kind of like the government admits mass graves, mass quarantines, forced inoculation preparations. Every day we post different states, federal government, other governments' admissions, but it's hardly ever in the news, and people send me emails saying, are you making this up? Yes, it's real. No, we're not making it up. Yes, we document it all. Does that mean they're going to a real pandemic? They've already declared one. Does that mean millions are going to die? I don't know. These people are capable of anything. And let me tell you something. If you and your wife and children get a weaponized flu and you die in a matter of hours from the hemorrhagic autoimmune response where your lungs fill with water within a matter of minutes, you have an autoimmune response and you're dying or your child is dead, this is not a game. This is more important than your local college football team. This is more important than getting your hair done. This is more important than your yard being green and not having dead spots. All I'm asking people is get informed. You don't have to believe my interpretation of things. You don't have to buy into what I'm saying. You don't have to believe my views. Just for heaven's sakes, when I get up here and I show you and read the headline on air, World Health Organization, briefing note 6, August 6, 2009, where they admit they're releasing viruses to mimic the one that's now out, and then scientists look at the current H1N1 and clearly say it's manufactured. This is a serious crime. But you're not going to get investigations from the FBI. And why? Because that's controlled from the top by these eugenicists. And I want to ask FBI agents, is it fun when your dad dies of Lou Gehrig's from the vaccines? Is it fun when you get Alzheimer's when you're 45? Now all these young people getting it? Is it fun that your daughter takes the HPV shot, Gardasil, and has autoimmune response and gets sterilized? Don't believe me? Just Google Gardasil deaths. Here, do it right now for us on screen. Again, we're simulcasting at prisonplanet.tv, the radio show, in living color. This has to be addressed. I'm not here calling for revolution. I'm not here calling for confrontation. The military, the police, the FBI, all of us are being treaded on. Whether you're an auto mechanic, a radio talk show host, a doctor, a lawyer, don't tread on us. Stop it. Stop putting sodium fluoride and hundreds of other chemicals in the water. I got a tour of the Austin water treatment plant, and they admitted they put hundreds of chemicals in the water. And the people there said, we don't like it. Ladies and gentlemen, death toll linked to Gardasil vaccine rises. Complications include shock, foaming at mouth, convulsions, and coma. All right, when we come back, I'm going to shift gears into the police state, Obama's speech to the kids, Van Jones resigning, a whole lot more. But it looks like they've kicked off the fear-mongering. 10%, really about 11%, 2,000 of 18,500 students at Washington State have the flu, and they're saying it may be the swine flu.